Welcome, everybody from Able Arts or Going for Life. We're here with Greg. We're in his studio here at Bixby, Knolls in Long Beach. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself, your art background?
Sure.
Yeah, just introduce yourself.
Okay, my name is Greg Navarro Pickens. I have been in this space for almost 3 years. I moved in about 6 months before the pandemic slammed, and so it was a tumultuous time to open a business. But I have been an art educator for 35 years and a mural artist and community artist, so this seemed like a logical direction for me to go.
Yeah.
Kind of hang my own shingle.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. I love that you managed to stay open through all of this, and you just opened before that. I didn't know how soon it was and everything. Do you have any goals that you're working towards with the studio or as an artist?
I do, actually. Ironically, I think 1,000 more goals now that I open space than I did as an artist before, when I was just kind of working at home or bouncing around job to job.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I have products that I've developed through the studio. That's something I would advise other artists to explore a little bit, is hooking up their website or with Printify, because it's a passive income and they can print things and you can take orders. So that I'm just starting to blow up all my products and get my, this is a Kobe painting over there, somebody commissioned, so you can get that on the website now. So I'm exploring that. I really like to make this place a lot more functional. It feels like a laboratory to me, and I have pulled out the concepts a few times for a very lean and mean franchise opportunity that has spin art and truck painting and pendulum painting. So I'm trying to work at refining all this and maybe even launching a franchise type opportunity.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of things moving forward. I love that you mentioned like the printing and things. I was actually talking to someone recently about how much Andy Warhol would love the art movement these days, because it's all about giving art back to the masses, because we can take a painting that used to be $1,000 and sell it to you for $50 to $100.
Right, you get a reproduction the same size for
exactly.
a fraction of the price.
Which is good. It's got its pros, so that art to the masses.
As an artist, it has a great aspect of just a passive income. You get a ping in my email and there's a sale that happened and I did nothing except put it on my website.
Exactly, rather than working hard to make another $1,000 painting.
Right.
So exactly, I love that. How did you get into art? Like, going back, how did it start for you? Were you just, as a child, always into art, or in college?
I think for me, my dad tells me I decided in second grade I was going to be an artist. I don't remember this, but I made that statement, like probably half of the second graders in the world. But I've always had an interest, and my parents were incredibly supportive. They sent me to lots of workshops at an early age. My dad sent me to figure drawing when I was 13 years old. So from 13 to 17, I did 4 years of figure drawing all through high school. And by the time I got to college, I felt a little ahead of the curve in my figure drawing class. So, but for me, I think art has always been soothing. And so it was a self, soothing kind of process. I go sit up in my bed and draw my own world, and I kind of control the chaos perhaps at different moments in your life. And so that's kind of how I found it to process things.
That sounds really great. I love how you kind of just build your art practice over life. Where did you study? In college?
I went, when I was 15, my dad sent me to Brazil on an exchange program. I took an oil painting class in Rio de Janeiro, and I started painting then. I went to a cartooning school in 9th grade, Joe Kubert School of Cartooning. Huge school now, but I was his first class, and there were 12 of us in his living room, right? And so I got a lot of attention from Joe Kubert, which was incredible, very famous cartoonist. And then I went to Kutztown University for my bachelor's, and University of Texas San Antonio for my master's. And I went back and got a secondary teaching credential about 10 years ago. So
Wow.
hopefully I'm done with school.
Hopefully life is school, right? Like
It
we're
is.
never actually
Hopefully I'm done
done.
with formal school.
Yes, I definitely agree. Formal school is very expensive. So you kind of mentioned your goals for Studio Pick, but how did it actually begin? You said it started, 3 years ago, right before the pandemic.
Yes.
So what was the idea for this really wonderful, colorful studio gallery?
I think the idea happened originally, the seed of this idea, when I was teaching in a fabulous position at Westerly School, local school, kindergarten through 8th. I was running the curriculum, incredible, huge classroom, all the budget I could dream for. It was just a great scenario, and it still wasn't doing it for me. Like after 30 years of teaching different places, I just thought, wow, I'm only isolated to 120 kids, and they get all of me. But I just have always been a bigger kind of impact person. So working with the nonprofits and programs. So I just kind of wanted to get into a place that I could accommodate anything that walked through the door. Programs, jobs. I mean, this guy came in the other day with this hat. Can you paint the English flag on top of my hat? And I'm like, yes, guess so. I'm the neighborhood artist guy. I do it all. And, I've done weird things, hockey belts and
That's so
just
fun.
fun stuff. And I like little quick project things. So it kind of allows that to enter my life where it didn't have a door to walk through before.
Yeah, it's definitely like a quick thinking, adapting kind of way of life by having just a door on the street. Like you say, for anyone to walk in. I love the hat story. That's great. I bet you would have never painted that.
I'm sure. How would they find me? It would have been worth it to start an email relationship. I mean,
Yeah.
It's just $30-40 a hat. It's not a big dollar project, but I love when I'm sitting here and I'm tired of doing a painting or something that I can pivot into this silly little hat project for a while. I like a variety is my thing, as you can see.
Yeah, no, I love it. I keep wanting to touch everything, all these beautiful rocks.
You and every kid that
stuff.
walks in here, which is
Yes,
what
I
it's
am
for.
another kid that walked in here.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful. I heard that you also do mural work
I
in
do.
Bixby, Knolls, and other places.
Yeah, I've done murals for about 30 years in Long Beach.
Oh, wow.
So I used to do a lot in the 90s with the schools. Sadly, we're having a hard time getting those touched up. There's about 30 of them hanging on the fences and things that need a little bit of focus. But and I do commissions. People would call me from their businesses, and I'll knock out something quickly, or it may require 100 community members to come together.
Which is wonderful.
Which is kind of my preference. I enjoy doing things like that.
There's something special about people coming together into an artwork because it's just a little extra love in the mix, I guess.
Agreed. It's love in the paint.
Yeah,
You're
love
mixing
in the
it in.
paint. Exactly.
We're actually, with that in mind, we're doing a neighborhood generous effort, I guess you'd call it, for Tony's Restaurant.
Okay.
Everybody loves their food, but their ambiance didn't quite fully get there when they opened. So we're gonna do a community paint out on June 5th,
Oh, that's cool.
Sunday. She's gonna serve tacos, and I'll be art directing the community, whoever shows up that day, and we're gonna hope to knock it out in one day.
I think that's
So-
fun. That sounds like a great project. It's very Bixby Knolls, you guys all
It is.
working together.
Yes,
Right.
and Blair doesn't often call me and say, I need to pluck your heartstrings on this one. Like, I've never gotten an email from Blair like that, so I knew I had to kind of step up, right? Because he's been so helpful to everybody on this block in this neighborhood, so
Yeah.
happy to do so.
No, that's great. That sounds like so much fun. Kind of talk about the network. It sounds like you have a big network of artists and people. How does someone build such a network? Because it's great for work and community. How do you go about building a network if someone was a new artist and they wanted to know?
I've thought about that a lot. Like, how does this all happen, and how do you keep people attached to you and liking you and move through life without burning bridges? Because when I first started my career, sometimes I'd just been about face and go the other way and end this relationship. But I think that's the most important thing, is that whenever I finish a job, I make sure they're smiling and happy to refer me to somebody else, or make sure they're going to call me again if they have something of that sort. artists come in different breeds, right?
Right.
We're almost expected to screw up. When we get a job, we're expected for things to be late, we're expected to not show up at the meeting on time. And there's a reason for those stereotypes. But if you can avoid being that person, then everybody you come in contact with, you have a relationship with, that follows you through Long Beach. You know, I have friends now that have risen to positions of power in the city or in a school district, and principals I've worked with for decades that I just feel like it's they're going to call me when they have an art class they want to do. So just make sure that you make everybody happy in whatever you're doing. I think that's the key.
Yeah.
Because everything follows you. That's what I've noticed. It's sort of like you'll bump into somebody at a meeting in Long Beach 10 years later that you thought you were done with this person. So you have to navigate nice. You have to play nicely.
Absolutely, because you might have good quality work, but they might not want you back if the working with you isn't worth the amount of work. You know, like the work.
Emotional hassle. Nobody wants
absolutely.
to work, you know. So you want to be easy for people to work with you.
Yeah, it's good for people to remember that you are the business.
Yes.
You know, like if you want to sell artwork, I am the face of my own art, kind of thing.
And I don't want to be irritated when somebody makes a change to their work. They're figuring out how this looks, and as they go along, they're going to have some flexibility, and their vision's going to change a little bit. And I always am open to that. And a lot of folks draw the line, well, you're not allowed to, you know, come back into the process. So I try and find a way for people to feel comfortable in the process, so they don't feel like I've committed to something that I'm 90% sure of, and then you get there and all they want to do is say, well, put this one little thing in the corner, but they're scared to tell you to put that one thing in there.
It's true. It's actually, I recently commissioned / collaborated with another artist, and it's the best thing, you know, when you're able to be right at the end, because I'm not a graphic designer and they were, and be like, you know what, this is great, but that one color, is it able to change that one color? And for someone to be able to come back and be like, yes, we can do that, versus like you say, then being like, nope, it's done, like we're too far.
Or you don't want to charge them $10 more at that moment, right?
Yeah.
It's a moment you can lock in their, you know, whatever, your relationship.
Yeah, no, I agree, and that's definitely, for my example, someone that I would refer out if someone ever was like, I need this type of project. Now I'm just like, yes.
Right.
These people were willing to work with me to very specific, because it's always hard, honestly, as an artist to do a commission for another artist. Because you like know, they know, they know what they're talking about.
That's true.
So, you know, I think, I love your tips. Definitely leaving people happy is a great way to build your networks, you know, and I love kind of, this is like a happy place, honestly. Like you talk about happiness and bringing that in. What are some of your, you know, what inspires you? What drives you to create? I see so many different types of styles of art in here. What drives you to create all of this?
You know, I'm gonna tip my hat to one of my mentors right now, Judy Baca. I worked with her for 2 years up at Spark in Venice, right out of grad school, and I was just adrift. I had no idea what I was going to do with a painting degree. And Judy had started Spark, and she's just a force of nature. She was just recently exhibiting at MOLA, her retrospect.
Yes.
And Judy really taught me like what you can do with art in the community. I saw her bringing neighborhoods together, warring gangs working together on murals, and I got to be kind of in that and a part of it. And I think I've never been the same. Like I came out of the art school as a studio artist, and then I shifted into this sort of like, ooh, I want to connect with the community with my art. And I would like to be able to help people access their creativity, which has kind of been my driving force, I think, through my whole career.
Yeah, I think community art's a very special thing that people often forget about. It's not taught in school.
Yes.
You know, you come out of college and you're expected to go into academics or go into galleries or go into your own studio, and like that's it, you know.
Yes.
And I love, like you say, there's like this love of community art, and it's wonderful. Your mentor sounds amazing. Like she sounds wonderful. So I love your inspiration. And looking at, do you have a favorite medium, or is your favorite medium everything?
I think I bore easily. So, yes, I mean, I honestly don't have a favorite medium. I like acrylic paint.
Mm-hmm.
I wallow in that, and everything is fused together with acrylics, and all this stuff, plastic and all this kind of goes with the Elmer's glue and the paint. So I'm a water-based acrylic stuff kind of person,
Mm-hmm.
but I will shift from doing totally realistic. I did another Kobe portrait this week, this big, just little tiny, tiny brushes, into doing squirt paintings and stuff in the same afternoon. It depends on the mood I'm in, so I don't have a preference. It depends on the day and the minute you ask me what my preferable process would be, I suppose.
I think that's great though, because it means you've got like a certain flexibility. I always say you kind of need to know the rules before you can break the rules, because then you know what you're doing, and you're able to make cognitive choices for an abstracted artwork.
Yes.
Versus, someone said like a happy accident or something.
Yes.
Yeah.
I ruin more 2 out of 3 things. I push, and then if it doesn't look right, it must need aquarium gravel or a feather or some rhinestones, and I can't believe I use those materials now. Like, if you'd have told me 3 years ago I'd be working with glitter and rhinestones,
Oh my
I'd be
God.
like, are you kidding me? But it just
pain of
happened to be
existence
here,
is glitter.
at that moment. And even this stuff, I put out, I had a kid ask me for some things, like feathers and beads once, and I brought them out, and I put 6 or 7 gluable things out here, and every kid from that day on went right to that stuff and grabbed stuff. So I started putting more stuff out. And then the more they came out, the more the kids liked this kind of variety of creative options. And they make things that are insanely creative, like just so out of the box. I don't have to show them anything. Half of the kids that come in here, they just like, I don't want any instruction.
They don't have to unlearn anything.
Right. There's no process they're trying to mimic.
Mm-hmm.
They get to explore freely.
Yeah. Versus, like if we came in, exactly, I would be like, I'm not so sure about the feathers and fuzz balls. That's not my style. Whereas the kids are like, what is style? I'm gonna
Exactly.
I'm gonna grab some leaves and put it. I think that's wonderful.
Why burden yourself with a style?
Yeah, exactly.
Right? How boxing?
Yeah, no, that's great. I love. Yeah, definitely can always learn from anyone who walks in. So these are great. I keep looking at this. This is from fish stuff, right?
Yeah, that's
These
fish
definitely
aquarium
look
and
like
plastic.
aquarium pieces.
These little containers I get from a place called Trash for Teaching in Gardena. They're moving, but these are Murad Band-Aid dispenser containers.
They're amazing
And
containers.
yeah, they're awesome. I designed the whole shelf to hold these.
Yeah.
And so it's nice that they're clear, you can kind of see everything.
That's what I was thinking. These containers are such an amazing layout. It's so.
I had my brother build this for me, and then it got really nice. Like when I went into all the clear, they all matched, but it was a little chaotic before, That's what I'm struggling with, is find pockets of organization in here that, so when you walk in, it's just not overwhelming, because it's all my
It's like
stuff.
the balance of welcome and chaos.
Yes, welcoming chaos.
Yeah, and like you want to be able to interact, but also see what you did,
Yeah.
kind of thing. Yeah, I love that. That's one of your goals. It's definitely something you see kind of happening,
Yes.
and I hope to come back in and be able to see it grow and everything as well. I know you've got stuff out to show us a demo. I would love to see how you create. Would you
Awesome.
be willing to show us what you do?
Love to. Can I do a shameless plug on some
Yes,
couple things first?
please tell us
Okay.
what's coming up.
So I do have art camps this summer.
Yay!
The month of July. Each camp is a different art movement. I only have 12 spots, and we take kids with different abilities, and there's 2 of us, myself and my friend Robin, teach this. So that's all on the website. This is a class for teenagers. It's 1 to 3 on the same afternoons in July, 4 days a week for 2 weeks of drawing and then 2 weeks of painting. And if you're, getting your portfolio together, or you want to hone on, a few skills of actually drawing stuff, that's good. And this is my adult stuff. I've got about 7 or 8 of these lined up for the summer on Friday nights. These come with a couple glasses of wine, or you can BYOB. And these are a little more, these are not no one's will look the same, right?
Yeah.
That's my thing. This is a pour painting tabletop. You know, somebody will explore a couple color schemes and then do this one, giant chain pole painting. They're all unique. I just kind of show folks the processes. And speaking of chain pole painting, this is my favorite process that I've discovered.
Okay.
So, start with canvas, and I really originally learned about a lot of these processes because my daughter was searching how to marbleize her fingernails on my phone. And I saw that, I'm like, oh, that's cool, let me check that out. And over on the side was all these acrylic paint processes. Pour painting, you know, this yarn pole stuff. And so I kind of went down that rabbit hole and never came out. And opened my entire life in business around those concepts. But I will say it is absolutely thrilling for me to see people come in and get something they love immediately, and it kind of breaks the ice for them creatively. Maybe they haven't done something in years. So the way I do this, I put that paint on and I scrape it across, and thank you YouTube personality who gave me this comb concept. A lot of people brush it around, but the comb is really wonderful and it allows folks to, it allows 4-year-olds to do it. Right? Oh, just brush it on. And then you take a chain, and this chain, I have lots of different chains, different thicknesses, but this guy, I'm going to just drop it in there, I fold it a little bit, and then you kind of cover it in paint. And you can kind of alternate what you're doing with it. These paints I mix with Floetrol from Home Depot, which kind of gives them a little extender quality here. They are awfully thick, so this helps them not crack when they dry, that Floetrol.
Is this just traditional acrylic paint?
I mix these. These are mostly really high intensity house paints. I get them at a local place for $10 a gallon, and he repurposes, you know, he redoes them. And he'll throw a lot more pigment in them for me.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and they work great. And then you just lift this out, grab it about here, and then drop it in. And this paint is wet, so this is all gonna fuse together when we pull this. Come on up here. Looks kind of patriotic, doesn't it? I'm gonna put a little bit more of this color in here, so it has a little bit more. There we go. And I didn't put any yellow. Let's put a little shot of yellow. So you can go back once you've dropped it in there and add a little bit more, which I always can't resist. And then you just give it a pull. And it kind of does itself. I get distracted easily and I want to watch it being made, so I do a little upside down peace sign. There's like kickstands to this. And pull it this way and it'll give you this lovely little floral form.
Oh, that's really nice. I can see that's like even a start to an artwork.
Absolutely. Lots of these, and then, you know, sometimes I'll do more stuff to them or add to them, and do multiple chain pulls here.
Oh yeah.
This is my home school. We finished yesterday with these type of projects, and they did giant ones. They're all different. I thought this one was lovely. Just a chain pull heart.
Yes.
So,
wow.
Yeah.
Do you have any shows coming up that people can see?
I
mean,
yeah, today.
Stuff here any day.
I really don't. I don't exhibit out very often. I was showing you those Joshua Tree pieces because I was going to go to the festival. So I'm having now a mobile version of what I have in my studio. So I'll be going to a lot of other camps aside from mine this summer, and doing spin art and gravity paintings and sidewalk mandalas and things. So I'm a service for other folks as well.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
That's fun.
All the way up to like West Hollywood. I have a booking this summer. So.
Can people follow you or how can they find or purchase your artwork?
Yes. www.studiopick.net. My Instagram is studiopick_. And studiopickarts@gmail. You can email me, but once you get on the website, all that contact, all the different projects you can do.
Yeah.
I do a lot of events and parties in here, so 6 people minimum, but I've had as many as 30 people doing an event.
And all ages, or?
All ages, 14 4-year-olds pulling chain tools all at once. It's fun.
Sounds like a
One
fun
parent
chaos.
over their shoulder, but
Yeah, okay,
nonetheless,
good.
we accomplished it.
That sounds great. Actually, from the Red Show, we have some exciting news for you. The Red Show was obviously our Able Arts Work show across the road.
Yes.
And
Thank you
I
for
was
that.
told that Angora Watt was recently sold.
Oh, fabulous.
So we had that one sold for you. They would be able to see it once we put it together. But
I wonder
do you
if
wanna
Sander Wolf did
I don't know.
talk to me about a pen. I love that pen. I'm going to buy it. So I wonder if he bought it. I hope
It's
so.
not Sander.
It's not Sander?
It's not
Oh, okay.
Sander.
Oh, do you want to
I hope
tell
that's
me
not
about
the
it?
one he wanted, because I'm going to give it to Sander anyway.
What was that one about? I mean,
That particular
yeah,
piece,
that piece.
I actually started making work like this.
Yeah.
I was at a Gregory Luke lecture, and he was talking about Picasso, and it was World War II, and so I did these little paintings with a knife that were like little World War scenes.
Oh yeah.
I've sold all of them except for that one,
It's
and
very
that
dystopian.
technique, it was like thick black texture paste, and so I came home that day, just started messing around, and that's kind of where that came from.
Yeah,
It
that's-
just scraped off black texture paste.
Yeah, that looks like very dystopian. Kind of reminds me of, I know like it's almost every kindergarten class where you like color with crayons and then you
Yes.
like paint the black over top and then like etch out.
Kind of scratch through
Yes.
process.
and
Yeah,
then
it does
you-
look like that.
Yeah. I don't know why, for some reason we all do it in kindergarten.
Well,
or
it's the
something.
skill level of the technique that
It's a
feels
No, I'm
kindergarten.
not calling it a kindergarten.
Hey, I take that as a compliment.
Okay, I'm glad.
I really do. That 4 to 8-year-old time period is magic.
It really is.
And it's sad because as they get to 7 or 8, they start to get indoctrinated into my stuff needs to look like everybody else's. But in there, it's just this magical little period of creation.
I mean, we do tell kids they all have to draw the same still life over and over and over again too.
I don't.
So,
But
I mean,
some people
thankfully
do.
you don't, but you know.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
And things, there's some programs that are just amazing out there that are filling in, but California doesn't offer kids art education in public schools for
Yeah.
kindergarten through 5th. So
I heard. We offer accessible arts workshops through Able Artwork, and they go into some of the schools to help fill in that gap.
it's amazing. And I go into some of the schools to fill a gap.
Yeah.
I teach at Los Cerritos Elementary. 2 days a week I go over there and I run their whole curriculum, but it's 1 hour a month the kids get. And it's a fabulous job because I am the Pied Piper. I walk in,
Yeah, I mean, I
art,
heard
dude,
that
yeah, So I get a lot of
Being
love and
cheered
feel
by
valuable.
students. Yeah.
But every school needs a couple artists drifting through the classes, and
Really,
they
truly.
just have not stepped up in that way.
Definitely, art is so. I don't know where I would be without having had art in school. So.
I had Miss Gordon in
Definitely.
2nd grade. I moved from Louisiana to New Jersey. The first day I moved in, I went to class, I got in trouble for saying yes ma'am to the teacher. She came and
Oh.
grabbed me by the ear and hauled me out. And then I was destroyed, and then Miss Gordon came in. And she had this little art cart. And she'd push her art cart, and it was like everything was right with the world again. Miss Gordon's here, And so I really remember that as a vivid, she kind of helped me connect to school. And I think that's so important. There's so many kids out there that are me, or that are you, that are the creative kids that are just ignored. Their creativity is not fostered or, by their parents and people around them, but systematically we've kind of
Or no one
push that to
teaches
the side.
them, that printmaking is math and
Yeah.
science, like chemicals and printmaking is science.
When
I don't
schools are
like-
struggling, they call artists for triage. So there's a
When
gentleman.
anyone's struggling, they call artists for trees.
They do. But there's a school in Norwalk where this guy went in. They were the lowest performing school, lowest attendance. He changed the curriculum entirely to art and right to the top of the school district. 3 years. He won the Bravo Award. He left. They took it away. It happens all. They triage the art and then leave, and they don't keep the art.
Yeah, of course.
Uh-oh, I'm on my soapbox here again.
No, I love your soapbox.
We
This is
ventured.
great. No,
I'm
conversation's
irritated by it, to
wonderful.
be honest, because the proof is in now, right? The science of the value of art for little kids is in, so it's just, we're having a hard time shifting politically or something, I don't know what it is.
Well, I think that's what's great about Studio Pick, right?
Yeah!
You let people walk in, like you say, you let them explore. Where, if someone wanted to come in, do they have to schedule a time to make art, or?
Good question.
Yes.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday afternoons, you can just walk in, 2 to 6 Thursday, Friday, and 12 to 6 on Saturday. And it's just a walk-in service. Usually there's a couple people milling about doing stuff. I do private lessons if folks are interested, but you know, just a couple of people I have for that. But I try and just accommodate whatever walks through the door.
That's great. I love your open door policy. Thank you so much for chatting with us.
My pleasure.
Greg. That was
Thank you.
wonderful.
Really appreciate it.
Thanks. This is great.
Thanks. Here at the Expo Arts Center. Whoops, too close.
Sorry.
Here at the Expo Arts Center. Phenomenal resource for the community here in Bixby, Knolls. This building was an old furniture store, I believe, originally. The Bixby Knolls Business Improvement Association took it over, has made it an incredible resource for lots of small businesses, galleries, artists. The first Friday celebration in this neighborhood. This is a sort of a central hub for that activity. Lots of artists sell work here. I have my own first one-man show, Enable Arts Gallery now. My mother-in-law had her first exhibition at 76 years old in this building. When I used to work for the Art Exchange, we used this building to practice our program, so to speak. It's been a couple of summers here doing summer camps in this facility. Now the African cultural community is here, Able Arts is here, and so I'd say the value of this place is immeasurable. It's a nurturing, incubating kind of arts facility that helps a lot of people, artists, creative types, get their legs underneath them. And so really a wonderful place. If you've not been here on First Fridays, it's really a great active place to come see a ton of art and listen to a lot of music.